The coffee is black. The robot is very, very feisty. And I'd like to welcome you to the Monday, September 1st edition of Modeling Blog Daily, where Bill just rants with a cup of joe. And today I'm going to rant with a Bionicle set that I built a little bit earlier in the day. What a magnificent set. This is a Bionicle Barraki Deepsea Patrol. It's a 89-25, 228 pieces. And look at the artwork. All of the Bionicles have such excellent artwork on the cover. I made this thing and showed it a certain way. I'm showing it to you in a little bit different light this time. For example, in my presentation review, I didn't have the guy inside. Well, first of all, there's two jellyfish. That's a huge jellyfish, and that's a Portuguese man of war. My favorite's the Portuguese man of war. And it's made up of the tentacles and the colors, and it really kind of looks just like a Portuguese man of war. I'm sure these are glow-in-the-dark tentacles, so you kiddos could probably charge it up under your light, you know, and then sit it on your nightstand when you go to bed and get scared. The other one, I showed it to you with the guy outside. Now there's a reason. I'm going to take this apart with one hand and show you. This guy barely, there's no connector in there for the guy. His feet are, but in the picture they have him, you know, kind of hanging in the ether there of the jellyfish. So I decided to not show them that way during my presentation, so I could kind of have this jellyfish float in. But it's a magnificent. I've never seen a mold for Lego quite like that. It's an unusual one. They do have some alternate ideas in the back of the book. I'll show you in a minute. This is probably my least favorite model. I know why they do this. All of the Bionicles seem to have this machine that you use to fling your, you pull it back, and then that I'm not going to be able to do with one hand, but this thing flings off. I think this is kind of like a cheap shot of a cheap excuse for a model. It's not very well done, but you know, I'm sure the kids liked it. Aren't these guys weird? They're ugly. Although I had one guy came back, but Bill, they're not ugly, they're beautiful. Yeah, I guess they are if that's what you want to call beautiful. This is unusual. I showed it to you in my presentation with the legs down and out. And you can see they have the ball in or out of the holder. I think that this is used as a weapon. Now, this reminds me of an anemone. The anemones are the round shellfish. They're round with all those little tiny feelers, and the feelers all move the particulates up to the mouth, which is at the base. And then the anemone swallows that and then gets its nourishment from nutrients in the seawater and the sand. Well, matter of fact, if you dry the anemone shells out, they are beautiful, absolutely, because they're real fragile and they're round. Well, this mouth kind of looks like an anemone, and I think that's what they're trying to replicate. If you look back in the back here, no, that's not a container where you open it up and you got the balls. That's actually in the stomach of the beast. See, this is part fish and part human. That's the whole idea of the Bionicle. They're part mechanical and part monster. So you got part fish and part machine. And so the way it works is the creature takes these and he spits them out his mouth, or he swallows them, or he throws them. Either or, that's the way it gets in and gets out. I've never seen an antennae quite as long on a creature. I flattened these specifically just to show you that there's another way to display it. You can display it flat. I was having a difficult time filming because every time I filmed he fell down. You know, you got to be real careful because there's nothing to hold it vertically. So I just flattened them out for this video here. I didn't show you in my main video either these wonderful weapons that you get. I don't know what they're used for. There are 12 different weapons. And I mean, they give you a bag of these weapons, and here they are. They don't tell you what to use them for. And I mean, they don't have any pictures of the guys using them. Well, he's using one there, but the point is that there's not. I don't know what they're for. But the kids, they probably have a purpose for each and every one of them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Good, he didn't crash. There's probably a reason to have every one of them, but I don't know what that reason is. The manual is a good manual, and they do have, let me show you the ideas in the back. Look at all these magnificent art. They must have an art department that is top drawer. By the way, I have the Gadunka. The Gadunka is still my favorite, right there. I have Hydraxin, and I have Maxilos and Sphanglings. I haven't built those yet, but I have quite a few Bionicles that I haven't shown you. Here's an alternate model with the main jellyfish. You can really make that into kind of an anemone. And here's the model with another way to, you know, use it with flattened. And there, I guess they're using those swords or whatever they are. But it's a great model. My favorite one, though, still is the Portuguese man of war. Stay away from them. If you're on the beach and you see one, they can be very painful. Bill in red, and a very sleepy robot, signing off, and my robot snores to you. Snoring, guys. Sayonara, friends. Sayonara.